Okay, here's a quick beginner bass lesson. So it's two quicks, two beginners. I'm not going to get into the scales. I'm not going to get into the fingerboard. Obviously, you're going to need to know both of those things at some level. But for now, I'm assuming that you're working on that yourself. The thing that I'm about to do, it's in A major, and it'll work in any key. Obviously, you'll move it up and down the fingerboard, but whether it's A major, B major, C major, whatever it may be, it'll work in any key as long as it's not a minor key, and we'll do a minor key at a separate lesson. There are a couple of things, though, that you need to know. So what I'll do briefly, take you through the scale and then highlight a couple of things. So here's an A major scale. Okay, very simple. There are a couple of things. Each of those notes in any scale, A, B, C, they're numbered. The first note of the scale is the 1. The second note's the 2. The third note is the 3. Wait for it. The fourth note is the 4, and the 5, so on. It's important to know the 1, the 3, the 4, and the 5, because I'm going to be referring to them a couple of different times. And if you know the 1, the 4, and the 5, that allows you to do this regardless of the key. The notes will change, but the how it's related to the root, or the root, which is the 1, will change. It'll be pretty obvious as I'm explaining it right now. It's a little convoluted, but once we start playing, it'll be very straightforward. I'm going to do 3 very simple riffs. I'm going to do them without music, and then I'll do it with a play-along track. The first one is called a walk. A walk is, you've heard it a million times. I'll do that. Then there's a 1-5 riff. And this is what I was saying, you need to know what the 1 and the 5 are. Here's your 1, the 5 is here. And then here's the next chord, and the 5 would either be here or directly above it on the string above it. And then there's a chromatic. Chromatic means just going in half steps. So here's the first riff. I'll do it real briefly. Change to the D chord, back to the A, now to the E chord, D, okay, that's a very simple walk. Now, the 1-5 riff is where you only 2 notes you're playing are the root, or the 1, and the 5 of the chords. So you've got, that's a 1-5 for an A, and now I'll go to the D, and then back to the A, and now the E, very simple. And the last is a chromatic, where you're just walking up to whatever the chord you're about to play, so, or the guitar player's about to play. So here I'm in A, going to the D, D, going to the E, okay, pretty straightforward. Now, there's things called play-along tracks where you can just go to YouTube, you type in, this one is called Blues Bass Backing Jam Track A. A meaning the key of A. And what you do is you just go on to YouTube, you get a backing track, and you can use that to practice, and it's just a little bit more interesting than playing alone. What I'll do is I'm going to do each of those 3 riffs along with the backing track, and then what I'll do is I'm going to take those 3 riffs and only those 3 little riffs, and I might play a little faster. I might leave out 1 note, and I'll mix the 3 of those things together just to show you that if you understand those 3 basic riffs, you can make music, and it's absolutely going to sound like music. So I'll do that. I'm going to do each riff individually, and then I'll take a couple of times around where I'm just mixing it all up and basically playing bass. So here we go. This is the first riff, the walk. you get the idea. You're seeing what I'm doing. I'm just using those three things, experimenting with a little bit, changing from an eighth note to a quarter note or a 16th note. Basic stuff, but when you do it together, it works. I just played what's called a 1-4-5, meaning the chords were the root, the A, and then the D and the E. Probably half of rock and roll is based on those three chords. Johnny B. Good is a 1-4-5. Virtually 3/4 of the Beatles songs are 1-4-5. I saw her standing there. So you've got kind of the rudiments of just getting down and starting to be able to make some music. So have some fun. Talk to you soon.